champions.
What a move by Howie Roseman. Whoa, yo, everybody, how you doing? Kate Ding back here, and you know, nothing's gonna come out of this camera, is it? You know, yesterday I had a dream. Last night I had this crazy dream, right? I had this dream. I was doing a video. I don't know what the video was about. I can't remember. But all of a sudden, this thing shoots out of my camera. And then something else shoots out of my camera. And I'm like looking around trying to figure out what the hell just shot out of my camera. And then something else is trying to shoot out of the camera. But it ain't coming out. It's like it won't go. And then all of a sudden I see this head, this alien head with these big beady eyes trying to push itself out of the camera like this. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I'm like jamming it back into the camera. I'm like, you can't come back here. And then it just pops out. And then I start banging. I'm banging. These big beady eye looking 3 foot alien. Okay? Now nothing scares me, freaks me out more than these little alien things. So I start beating on its face and I'm trying to gouge its big old eye out. And then like all of a sudden as I'm pounding its face, double moonwalk its ass, it disappears. And then I look and there are like 2 other ones looking at me. And they're not moving, they're not reacting, they're just looking at me with these big black beady eyes. They're just looking at me. They ain't even reacting. It freaked me out. Anyways, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but when I started this video, it was like deja vu. Man, it was crazy, it was freaky. I'm telling you, it freaked me out. The thing that just gets me, right, and it still gets me when I think about it, it just gets me, is when I turn to look, I turn and I look back and these 3 feet aliens are standing there, like I guess they're called the Greys. They're just looking at me with the big eyes, and they have no expression, they're not trying to come at me, they're not picking up their hands, they're standing straight and still, and just looking at me with this blank look. It just freaks me out. Oh, it gives me the creeps. Alright, so anyways, sorry about that, it was deja vu. Anyways, what I want to talk to you about in this video is an article that I just read on Bleeding Green Nation. And it was something that we've discussed many times in this off season about Nick Foles. A lot of people have talked to me and told me that they feel that Nick Foles may not want to be traded from the Eagles. He may not want to go start somewhere else. He may be perfectly happy as a backup for the Eagles, and he's content, and there's no reason to move him because it's not something he wants to do. Well, it turns out that a Texas TV station did a TV interview, I guess, with Nick, and I guess Nick being at home, being that it was a small news station, felt kind of relaxed and kind of opened up, and he expressed the desire to become a starter again in this league. Now, you can't blame him. He's a Super Bowl MVP. Of course he would want to start again. Now, I find it interesting because we were trying to figure out if Nick even wanted to get traded, if he even wanted to start again somewhere else, or was he just content in Philly? Turns out Nick would like to be a starter again. Now, what does this mean going forward for the Eagles and for Nick? I don't think it means a lot. I think it's interesting to know that he wants to be a starter, and I think this opens the door to the possibility that, let's say in training camp, you get a Teddy Bridgewater situation again where a quarterback gets hurt, goes down, that kind of thing, and a team is desperate for a quarterback. They would call the Eagles and trade for Nick Foles. I can't see Nick Foles being traded anytime soon, anytime during the draft, or anything like that. There's only one team that I could even imagine would want Nick Foles, and that would be Buffalo Bills. They're the only team I could see maybe deciding that, you know what, we're going to trade for Foles. And the only way I see that happening is if Buffalo Bills, let's say they're trying to get up to get a quarterback, they're trying like hell to get a top 5 pick, and they're calling and they're trying to make all these trades and all this kind of stuff, and they can't do it, and the quarterbacks that they like are gone. maybe they turn around and they offer the Eagles something good for Foles. That would be the only way, and I think that's like a 5% chance of happening. So in the end, even though Nick would love to be a starter again, I still think the most likely scenario now is that he finishes the year with the Eagles, becomes a free agent, signs a contract with another team, and then the Eagles hopefully get a pretty good compensatory pick. That is the most likely scenario. Then the scenario likely after that would be, somebody gets hurt in training camp or the trade deadline, and then Nick gets traded. And the least likely, which I think has like the slightest chance of happening, would be like Buffalo Bills trading for Foles after all the quarterbacks that they want are gone. But, this is an interesting article in my opinion because it confirms for us that Nick wants to be a starter, and you would expect a competitor like Nick Foles, a Super Bowl champ, a Super Bowl MVP, to want to go out and be a starter. And I respect Nick Foles for that. But Nick Foles, in the end, he's going to be with the Eagles, and hey, we love to have him. He's a great quarterback. I love the kid. Now, I will be back later tonight after the Sixers game. Hopefully they take it, game 2, and we'll talk then. With that said, take care, talk to you later, and don't be a dingbat.